welcome to Wednesday's edition of Reptile News. Let's head on over to Utah and talk about Jim Dix. That's D-I-X for you funny, disgusting people. We talked about Jim about a year ago, I believe. For some new road corridor they're building. I guess they got to tear down a bunch of stuff. He's got a rescue with, I guess, a ton of animals that has to be moved, and he's, I guess they're still at odds and still has yet to move. And apparently in the state of Utah, Jim is one of only a handful of people that are actually licensed to have rattlesnakes and stuff, and normally I guess a lot of the animals that he keeps would be put down in local shelters because they're just not, they don't have the facilities to deal with that stuff. And now Jim is, I guess he's seeking out volunteers, donations to try to help find a place to move the animals to, and him and the Utah Department of Transportation would like to get it done before winter time, so the animals don't get subjected to the cold. Some of them are, I guess, pretty exotic, and they're currently in a 3-level 1,500 square foot rental home and need to move somewhere else. And State Representative Dennis Kintai, I believe, a former FBI agent with absolutely zero history in biology, has come to the rescue of the oil companies and doing his own study and does not want the dune sagebrush lizard. We're still talking about I don't even know why this is up for discussion, people. Anyway, the panel he put together, no history in biology, I guess virtually none of them, completely dwarfed by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife's panel, which did have curators and ecologists and stuff on it. So we're still fighting it. Guys, if you can, if you want to, if you got some time, send some notes to anybody you can, anybody from the state of Texas or Arizona, and tell them that this lizard needs to be listed on the Endangered Species Act. There's plenty of evidence out there to list it. Their number one reason for fighting for this is they say it's going to cost jobs in the oil industry, but of course the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service says that there's no evidence to prove that it's going to cause any problems with the oil industry. So yeah, send some letters, send some emails, make some phone calls if you must. Stick up for the lizard, and hopefully, the current director of the Fish and Wildlife Service has a little time to decide whether he's going to order this listing or not, and maybe, who knows, maybe if we send enough letters, they'll decide to do the listing anyway. Look at what we just spoke about the Lake Erie water snake, the bald eagle, the peregrine falcon, that, these were all animals that were helped by an endangered species listing. So yeah, let's hope for the best. And now to North Carolina, to Walter Kidd, the gentleman with all the snakes in his mobile home. The story's taken a little bit of a turn. Apparently, Walter, the other day, was finally arrested. He was charged with what they say several citations. They still don't give really any detail, but if it was for what they were talking about before, I believe that's probably what it was. The story doesn't state that, but it was for not labeling the bins properly, putting him in direct violation of state law. So yes, he was arrested. Like we said, either press charges, arrest him, or give his snakes back. So the ball's in their court now, and we'll see how it turns out. And this last story, I just you can't help but laugh and cry, and the only reason I would laugh is because this didn't happen to me. But apparently a Camden man was out scouting a spot for hunting at about 8:30 or so in the morning, and by about 11:30 he was dialing 911. He was lost. Sheriff deputies found him following his calls and his gunfire with his .22 caliber gun into the air, and they finally reached him, and he was really hot, run down, tired. He could only go for about 10 minutes before stopping and resting. Anyway, while they were attempting to escort him out of the wooded area, he tripped and fell, at which time he was bitten by a pygmy rattlesnake. One of the deputies took his service weapon and shot the rattlesnake to keep it from biting again, and he was treated and released. But I just can't think of a worse day than that, getting lost in the woods, the men in blue coming to help you, your rescuers, you're on your way out, you trip and fall and get bit by a rattlesnake. That's just gotta suck. If that doesn't make you contemplate the meaning of life, I have no idea what is. And that has been all your news for this Wednesday. If you'd like to read any more of these stories, that link's right down below here in the description. And as always, if you're still watching, my name is Jason White. Now you know what's going on in the reptile world. Be good to each other, and we'll see you tomorrow.